know where the treats at.
Is this the passing of the torch, right? Is this what this signifies?
It comes down to that front office and what they feel is most important.
The champ is here. We've touched down from a higher plane. Why you made it here?
We always look forward to that week because it was always intense.
You know that we ain't coming back. We about to.
The man, the myth, the legend, Dante Hall. My favorite player growing up was Dante Hall. I love you guys in the show, but Dante was my guy.
Get to dashing because you done on the warfare.
This episode of Chief Concerns is brought to you by betonline.ag. Hey there, Marcus Dash here from Chief Concerns. Just want to comment and say BetOnline is your #1 source for all your sports betting needs. Get the latest odds, lines, and matchup reports for football, baseball, boxing, golf, and much more. BetOnline continues to be the fastest and easiest way to place your wagers, including live betting and your favorite casino and card games available to play right from your phone. Head to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and get in on the action. Remember to use promo code BELIEVE, BLEAV, for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet online, where the game starts. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Chief Concerns, your post-game show. It's your regular season finale. I'm Marcus Dash here with my brother Teja Dash. JD may or may not be coming on. He's been in Nashville all weekend having himself a good time. He was at a coaching conference, so I don't know. Sounds like a good time. But yeah, let's go into this game. Not the most thrilling game. I would say this is probably most on par to a week 3 or week 2 of a preseason game. Very preseason type vibes. Obviously, Blaine Gabbert. Got to see a little bit of our guy Justin Ross. Left the game with a hamstring injury, so that was kind of upsetting. I was wondering why he wasn't in the game towards the end of the game, because he made a couple catches today, and it was wow, if MVS made a catch like that during the season, everyone will be all over his jock and saying, "Oh man, we got to steal this MVS guy. $9 million is a bargain." But no, we're not saying that. However, not really many takeaways in this game. Obviously, injuries was the biggest thing I was thinking about when we came to this game. Seeing the Sam Laporta injury in the Detroit Lions game had me scared about Kelsey possibly getting injured tonight, even though he was going to go for 16 yards, get 1,000. Thankfully, they must have watched it. They must have watched it to see that he got hurt. So they didn't play Kelsey in the game. So perfect. But then Wanya Morris left the game, concussion. He's been starting at left tackle for us with Donovan Smith out. Jawan Taylor injured but came back in. So, and he actually played left tackle. Actually looked pretty good as his left tackle spot.
Yep.
So yeah. So that was kind of the takeaways I saw from the injury wise. What did you see? Anything that scared you injury wise today?
Not really scared me, injury-wise. I mean, you don't like to see anyone go down, so it's there's no less or more important player out there by any means, but I'm glad they got Jones the hell out of the game after he got his sack. I can say that. It was more looking to see if anyone got hurt. I mean, you just don't want to – all I want to do is come out – it's nice to come out with a victory and be 11-6 because it is a lot better than 10-7. We were saying that during the game. But – I just didn't want to lose anybody in any regard, really. I mean, it's so fragile at this point of the season, man. Especially like you said, after seeing Laporta go down, it's just it's not worth it, man. It's really not. And I'm glad Kelsey prioritized that, because if there's one guy that probably needs the most amount of rest on this team, who do you think would get voted that?
Probably Kelsey. I mean,
yeah,
he's the guy's been injured since week 1.
Yeah, so I'm glad he got a chance to rest. We didn't get our bye, but at least we got some guys rest.
For sure. I would say this is kind of a bye. I mean, we pretty much treat it like a bye with Pacheco out, Mahomes out, Kelsey, our O-line. There he is. There's the man.
Hey.
Yeah. What's going on, brother? I didn't know if you were going to come on, because I know you had the coaching conference this weekend.
Yeah, I'm leaving after this. Got all my plans after this is over, actually.
So I'm sorry. I thought it was this weekend, so I didn't know.
No, so we start today, and then I'll be back on Wednesday. So
gotcha.
Gotcha. So I'm heading down there after this thing is over, man.
Well, we were saying, JD, we're glad you're on. We were saying earlier, this of any game, this is probably on par with a week 2 or week 3 of preseason. That's the kind of vibes I got from this game. And it's funny too. It's the contrast, right? So preseason, a game like this, guys are trying to make the team or make a name for themselves. Whereas on the other side of things, this game, guys are trying, like Chris Jones, trying to get milestones, trying to get incentives. So it's very similar to like the week 2 or week 3 of a preseason game. Guys trying to get noticed, and then guys in this game trying to get the extra cash, you know, whether it's making playoff money or making just milestone money. But what were some of your takeaways from this game overall? My biggest takeaway, JD, was injuries. We came away with this game mostly unscathed, besides Wanya Morris's concussion. Jawan Taylor's injury for a second. He came back in and actually looked pretty solid at left tackle. And I think he was going against Khalil Mack for a little bit too. But what were some of your takeaways today?
Actually, man, it kind of revealed a little bit to me as far as this receiving core we had this game looked tremendous.
They did.
I think you go into the game with these guys, and you were talking about these guys, different ones all season, right? You know, we were speaking about Richie James being a guy that can come in, get you some yards. He was solid today. Hardman, I said that's what we need to go get him from the Jets. showed why that was important to have him down here. I mean, he was catching passes and just making plays. Justin Ross going up there getting the ball, elevator catch. I'm telling you, man, I was like, yo, this, if anything, the wide receiver group was promising to me. I'll be honest with you. I think you go into this game with these guys right here that you add everybody else up to it.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, Rashee Rice is going to be number one, but everybody else, that right there, the other three, that's the guys you got. Then Watson comes in, let him get a little shine. MVS get a little shine and whatnot. But to me, that revealed a lot. That's what stood out to me was a wide receiver group running great routes, catching the football really well, getting some positive yards. Perrine looked good. He looked good out there.
He did.
Yeah. Blaine Gabbert getting some runs, man. Look, that joker was, old legs is getting it, wasn't he?
His legs look better than his arm, I'll tell you that much.
But sometimes it has to happen like that. Sometimes you got to show up whatever it takes. I think, to be honest, man, it was a great win because you want to go into the playoffs, like I said, on a high note. And these guys played their tails off. Deion Bush was hitting everybody out there, man.
I know.
Knocking some suckers up today.
I was not surprised that when they said that Chief player was down, I was like, it's got to be Bush, dude. He's been hitting guys like he's full speed going on special teams.
And everything that was moving, he was hitting.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
he was hitting people like someone had a family member of his like behind the stadium at knife point or something, dude. He was like his life dependent on it.
Yeah, for real.
That was like, man. I mean, man.
Yeah, Susan a couple times like
Cam Jones was laying the legs, was all over the field.
Cam Jones, yeah.
Connor looked good out there, was all over the place. I mean, we had active dudes out there. I was gonna say something to your receiver comment too. As a receiver in this game, we're aware of the problems. They are obviously. Yeah. You got to know that. They say guys are auditioning maybe for next season. They're auditioning for playing time in the playoffs, right
now. Yeah. And the thing is, because you've seen such a discrepancy in like how guys are actually, performing all year, this I think is just an opportune time to show what you can do. And they showed it. I mean, a very healthy Hardman changes things. That's why I was saying it was important to go get a guy like that who knew the offense, who knows how to get open, who can make plays with his legs. I mean, he was a pivotal part of what we was doing before he got hurt.
Mm-hmm.
And so to me, it just made sense to go get a guy like that. And then when you see Justin Ross out there running routes, because every time he was in, I was sitting back there just watching him. I was watching the routes he was running, how he looked. He looked pretty good. And so when you see a guy go up there and go get the football, I mean, that perks your eyes up a little bit. Like
it pops. He pops.
Absolutely. Like, okay, we ain't seen a whole lot of that happen this year.
Yeah.
Right? Somebody climbing the ladder to go get the football.
Mm-hmm.
I think the only one we've seen this year was CEH in the end zone. He was only going to go up there and go get a ball like that.
Yeah, I know.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad Hardman had a chance to like really, really play and get back into the swing of things before we get back into the the real games.
Man, that's important, man, especially for a guy like him, a caliber of a player that we have, who knows the offense, that Patrick knows to kind of get those reps, man. You know, he's got the rest. He's got fresh legs. So it's almost like he's just starting the season out because he's been out. He ain't been playing.
Yeah.
Same thing with Richie James. Same thing with Justin Ross, right?
Yep.
These guys are fresh guys, fresh legs. And they could give us what they gave us today. Come on, man. I mean, I love that. That's, to me, that was the most promising part I've seen all game was those guys showing up. And then also defensive wise, you could tell the differences between our first corners and our second corners. And I was just a little concerned and like, man, like, Joshua Williams and Jalen Watson, a little step behind, but I mean they played well, but they was kind of beat deep every once in a while, but they made plays. So it just shows you how dynamic Snead was. How great was it for Chris Jones get his? Come on, man, come on.
That's sweet.
Congratulations, big fella. Congratulations. I was so happy for him to get that.
Yeah, that was a nice moment.
Yeah. I love seeing the entire sideline go nuts for that. That's how you know a guy's a leader in the room, and that's how you know how close this whole team really is. Yeah,
I mean everybody, coaches, players, everybody was so ecstatic for him, and so as they should have been. Mm-hmm. So that was a beautiful moment. It was a beautiful moment for Chris. Just a sign of relief, man. You check your bank account. Yeah, I got nothing.
Man, I get happy when I win like a parlay, dude. You kidding me?
I hear you. Yeah.
after that sack, I'd be refreshing every 2 seconds to wait for that thing to get in my account.
What did you make? So one thing that's we've talked about, it's been a kind of a consistent theme over the last 2 years that you and I have talked about, JD, is the other D tackle play. And this year, Noddy's shown flashes. And today, we saw a guy that we traded for in the offseason, Neil Farrell, the dude from the D tackle from the Raiders. He actually looked pretty damn good today.
Looking pretty decent. Yeah. Still need something from them guys in there. And I think this game kind of showed a little bit too. Like we want to really get a whole lot of pressure from the outside guys. Mm-hmm. I tell you who actually needs to play. I mean, this game I thought he played pretty well. Him coming in was BJ Thompson.
Yeah.
I mean, look, I'm looking at him, and in my mind, I'm sitting there like, man, you put like another 15, 20 pounds on this guy and just get him up to speed, he could be dangerous.
Yeah.
On the outside to just push him in the speed rush. I was trying to look for, King Felix, what he was doing. I was checking him out in the game, like, okay, he's got to work on some things. He's still off the ball a little bit. He's not quite crowding the football like he should. And I'm just like, little things like that, man. It's like he's a work in progress. He's a work in progress. So
his lineup it really hurts him.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does.
Really hurts him.
But yeah, for real, I mean, he did a decent job. He did coming in. So the linebackers, everybody that came in and was the reserves, they was pretty solid. So yeah, man, I think everybody did a pretty decent job. They really did.
So the one thing I want to ask, so you talked to the receivers, and the one thing I saw online, it was you kind of, there's a little bit of everybody, because everyone just kind of like wants to dog the receivers any chance they get. And no one's going to blame the backup quarterback for something. The McCole Hardman, Blaine Gabbert mishap there, the miscommunication there, where when they showed Gabbert, he was pissed off that like McCole just stopped his route. Mm-hmm. Who is that on there? Because I mean, really, if you're just watching, you see Gabbert throw up a 500 ball. I mean, like a lot of hang time on that thing. Hardman stopped his route. I mean, that stuff kind of happens. But who's that on? Receiver or quarterback?
I don't know. I have no idea. The thing is, the way McCole was running the route, I don't know if he was trying to flatten it out or he should have kept it high. And the way the ball was selling, it looked like he should have kept it high. But it looked like he didn't even look for it.
Yeah.
It's almost like he wouldn't even expected it.
Yeah.
So I think things like that where guys are not on the same page, like, it's like, okay, like why is that happening? How is it not understanding? And that might just be, it happens in every course of the game. I mean, these two guys who's not really been playing like that in games, trying to be on the same page. But, just because of what we've been going through the season, like you said, people gonna nitpick on it. So I don't know whose fault it was. What I do know is they connected most of the game anyway.
Yeah.
So if you had one that was a snafu and it didn't work out, okay, fine. Well, all right, line back up, right? That's what you do. Line back up, man, and get it right.
Yeah. Just that being, since Harvey's been on the team, like seems around every year we get around to playoff time, that's where he's kind of nicked up. it might be one of the first times in his career where he's going to be pretty healthy going into the playoffs, and that's definitely going to help and boost our offense as you saw today. I mean, he's got juice, man.
Man, that changed the entire dynamic. To be honest with you, because then all of a sudden now, because you have a guy that's going to beat you one-on-one. I mean, he ran around the slant route on the slot corner, right? The nickel guy, and the dude had to almost grab him by his waist because Hardman beat him so bad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing about it. That's the element he gives you. And so when Patrick has a weapon like that on the outside, then, okay, if you decide you want to double Kelsey like you've been doing all season, we got a guy that's going to be able to hit you one-on-one, okay? If you're going to be able to catch the football now, and not only him, but Rashee Rice. Now you got a guy who's actually a speedster, who's got the speed to catch the football. Maybe not as fast as Tyreek Hill, but still has that ability, to make things happen with his legs. But it was good just to see him catch the football with his hands and stuff, man. He did a good job today.
Yeah. He stuck out.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did.
And you need to do that, right?
Yeah, true. Yeah.
It's like playing in that. It's like one of your better players playing in like the last preseason game, and he's playing a little longer than he should. You're like, okay, you like a first or second rounder, you should be sticking out in this kind of game, and it's nice to see him stick out too. And we only had 3 receivers catch the ball today, so
really, interesting.
Yeah, Hardman, Ross, and James. That's it.
Wow. Yeah, watch.
He only completed 15 passes, guys.
Yeah.
But I mean, you're going against, they're not bound down to what's going on at all. They're playing to win the game too.
There's starters on defense too.
Absolutely. Yeah. So this is like, okay, that's what you want to see. It's not no reserve time. These are guys, legit guys that you're going against, and these are legit guys that we throwing the football to. So I think as a staff, that's exactly what you wanted to see. That's why you play those 3 guys the way that you play them. They're not getting any breaks. You know what? Y'all got all series. Y'all don't have to look over your shoulder who's coming in. There's no help. Okay. Justin Watts came in a little bit, but it's y'all. This is y'all show.
Mm-hmm.
This is you all's game. And so they didn't disappoint at all, man. I'm telling you, I'm serious. I would go into the game next week, and if these guys ain't in rotation, if 3 of those guys ain't top 4, then what we doing? That's what you was trying to do. I think that's what you wanted to show. The ability what these guys have, what you're going to get out of them. So can you imagine Patrick Mahomes back there throwing the football to these 3 guys as opposed to Blaine Gabbert?
Yeah. And one thing I will say is that Teja and I were saying when we were watching Gabbert play was like a lot of his ball is very high. That they're sailing on the guys,
mm-hmm.
and that is it's a good way to have these guys like Ross, James, Hardman go in there. They're catching balls that aren't going to be like Mahomes will place the ball in perfect spots. Blaine Gabbert's not going to place it in perfect, beautiful spots. They were actually having to make plays. You talk about Ross having to climb the ladder. He had to do that. Not necessarily, may not necessarily have to do that with Mahomes, but he's actually showing, a little bit of his, what do you call it? Gosh, I'm losing it here. Just
like jumping ability.
Yeah, his jumping ability and having a what do we call it? The
catch radius.
Catch radius. Yes, that's what I was going for. Yeah, and he showed that with Gabbert, and that's not necessarily you're going to have that problem with Mahomes, but you're showing these extra things with Gabbert, and these guys excelled today. So like, you won't be surprised. So essentially, you won't be surprised if these guys are playing next week.
If anything, if I'm a coach, I'm like, oh yeah, we need to have them in the rotation.
Yeah.
No question about it.
Definitely.
Because think about it. Okay, Kadarius Toney has been hurt. Okay, MVS hadn't really been showing what he can do. Right, he hasn't been that guy this year. Okay, and you just got to deal with reality.
Yeah.
So if these 3 guys come out here and they show their ability, Rashee Rice has been performing. Hardman show why he should be playing. Justin Ross makes an argument of why he should be playing. Richie James is being solid since he's been there, since he's gotten back, and then Justin Watson been making plays. Those 5 makes sense to me.
Yep.
So I think you just when you come into the next week, you build on it, right? And that's another thing that these teams that went against us, if we're playing the Dolphins, let's say we're playing the Dolphins, right? They haven't seen these guys. So now let's give them a different look for guys you haven't seen before, okay? It's the same thing. Well, now, like I said before, you might not have to single these guys up. You might have to do something a little bit different. Because you got some guys out here that actually catch the football really well. So I mean, why not, man? Like I said, man, these are fresh legs. All three of them are really fresh legs. So
maybe that contingency of the Chiefs Kingdom fan base who said, "Oh, Andy's saving the good stuff for the playoffs." Maybe he was right, JD. Maybe these people were right.
Man, if he could script the hurt thumb and going to jail and all that, they're a good one. They're a good one if they do that.
These people are going to come out and say, "See, we told you guys that he was saving it for the playoffs."
Like, okay.
It also looks really vanilla out there too, JD. So do you think, like, not that you can hardcore game plan for a team before you know who you're playing, but do you think they already kind of started on next week's game, at least like mapping out?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's part of what you do in the game plan, is because you look at the scenarios, who you're gonna be able to play. But I think sometimes with this offense, with the guys we got, vanilla's good. I don't think it's a bad thing. You throw a couple of wrinkles here and there in, that's fine.
Yeah.
All it is just pitch and catch. If guys are doing what they're supposed to do, and it's all about moving the chains, that's what it is. That's the entire intent. The intent is to move the chains, move the ball to get to a place where you score touchdowns. And as long as we're doing that, we're going to be fine. And then with Pacheco running the football and CH running the ball, that's even better. I'm telling you, man, they was talking about scary teams in the playoff. The Chiefs are the ones you need to be worried about. I'm telling you. We match up well against everybody. There's nobody out there we cannot beat.
And for the first time in Mahomes' Reed tenure, we're being overlooked. We're not the team right now.
Right.
So that's something that's never really happened in the playoffs for us. So, I mean,
well, we're not the team to beat in TV land. Put it that way.
Yeah.
Teams, the coaches, they know. They like, look, we cannot let this team get any type of momentum coming into a game. There's still Patrick Mahomes, there's still Travis Kelce, there's still Andy Reid, there's still Chris Jones. Yep. Like, they're Super Bowl champs for a reason. Okay. And maybe they might have found something. And what I'm looking at is the same thing the coaches are looking at too, like, okay. Well, they might have a couple of different weapons we haven't seen before. So, and I think you got to take it into account, man. If you sleep on anybody in the playoffs, then you need your butt kicked.
Yeah, that's
be honest.
True. You really shouldn't be.
No, Yeah, it should. Hey, don't look past nobody. At this, it's one and done. That's it, man. You lose, you're going home.
Yeah,
that's the bottom line. So,
well, every team out there is a threat to end your season. So you really shouldn't be.
Yeah, man. This is for the marbles. This got real. This is real.
I don't know. Do you guys know what their O-line situation was, the Chargers? Did they rest guys? Were guys injured? Because to our D-line, I know Jones was talk about a guy who has a family member out back on knife point. Jones obviously wanted that more than anything I've ever seen in a long time. He absolutely dominated them. And he was getting rid of the ball quick, Stick was. But, dude, I mean, 3 sacks, 8 tackles for losses, 8 QB hits. We were on it hardcore. So I'm just not.
What was the rush yards? Because I feel like we were stuck.
Eckler had 10 for 11.
Wow.
Yeah. But Stick, what did he have? That joker had a lot.
He had a lot, but I mean,
we get eaten up by quarterbacks, man. That's the one thing that scares me. As far as I know, we have a different game plan when we go against Lamar. But that's the one that kind of scares me. We got Browning ate us up, Hurts ate us up, Allen ate us up. Easton Vick or Easton Stick ate us up today. So that's the one thing that scares me. Obviously, we'll have a different game plan for if we do play Baltimore. So
yeah, twist and stunts, man, will end all of that. The pressures, when you start blitzing from different places, you just asking our guys on the outside go 1-on-1. That's what you do. Mm-hmm. So you got to make sure you keep them all bottled up, take away the running lanes, and that should be the game plan. That's exactly what you do against those guys.
Omenahu, 7 sacks in 11 games. That's
wow,
man. That's
really wow.
You give him 3 or 4 more games, you would have had double dig.
Oh, no question. No question.
Even Malik Herring looked good. He had 1.5 sacks a season in 3 games. So that's a guy next to you. Give us some more playing time if we lose anybody.
Yeah, I mean, chances are we're probably gonna lose Dana. He'll probably get paid a lot in the open market.
Yeah, there you go. Mm-hmm. See, Herring will probably just step in and be that other guy.
And we also have King Felix too. So
you'd hope FAU would be another guy too, but it's good that we have options and we have guys, we have depth at some key positions. So
Yeah.
It was nice to see that. And Mac, again, when we were talking about earlier about like in preseason games or games like this where the stars stick out big time, you look at like their box score and like Max like screams out. It may as well be highlighted. He had 1 sack, 3 tackles for losses, 2 PDs, and 5 QB hits by himself. So, he's a great player, man.
That's why I'm hoping, Donovan Smith comes back and he's healthy. And it might have been like he's like, and Coach knew because we have guys that is like, okay, look, you just go ahead and rest up, okay, get as healthy as you can. And when it comes to, playoff time, we're going to get you back in there. It's a different animal when you're going against a high-class speed rusher. It's a different thing, man. It is.
Yeah.
And so, we know, especially in the playoffs, you got to have a guy, man, who's ready and who's anchored. And I think Donovan Smith gives us that. Not saying Wanye, but you could tell a little bit how he was struggling a little bit today. He's struggling.
Yeah.
But Khalil Mack there, he ain't no chopped liver.
I'll tell you what, Lucas Niang looked pretty solid on the right tackle spot. Looked pretty good actually over there.
Yeah.
Kind of surprised me a little bit. I mean, his whole thing was never skill. It was always about staying healthy, and he's never was able to stay healthy in his short time.
So Wanye can't go next week, then we might be looking at Taylor at left tackle again if Smith also can't go. So
yeah, we'll see. And they might be, they might have fun with it and maybe go Thuney there a little bit. I don't know. In the past, they have done that.
I mean, Thune looks solid, man. That's always that's a great answer. It's a great answer. That Duggan does a good job out there, man. He really does.
It's nice to be able to shift your left guard over in a pinch to left tackle.
Absolutely. He's one guy I have no worry about whatsoever.
Yeah.
Get the job.
Fill in for a game or two, absolutely.
Yeah.
Totally. Yeah. I wouldn't want to, not all year, but definitely to fill in, to plug it in. Yeah.
So tonight, our playoff opponent, we don't know who it's going to be. It's going to come down to this game tonight. So Dolphins win. We'll be playing Pittsburgh next weekend. Dolphins lose. We got Miami coming to town. So obviously we were just talking just a little while ago about how you don't want to you don't want to really choose. You don't want to prefer any opponent because everyone's getting paid to win this game. Everyone's going to bring their A game, especially playing against Kansas City. They're going to talk about us. Oh, that's Super Bowl team. That's the team you need to beat. That's we need to knock those guys out. So everyone's going to bring the best game to Kansas City. But if you had to choose your opponent this week, who are you choosing, Miami or Pittsburgh?
Pittsburgh. Choosing Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Just for the simple fact, man, the quarterback situation's been dog doo-doo. Okay. Mike Tomlin always is a problem.
Yes.
Mike Tomlin coach team is always an issue. Najee Harris has been looking a little bit better. They got the other guy too that does a pretty decent job. But TJ Watt, him being hurt, really hurts him a lot. Really hurts him a lot. Yeah.
Especially if we have maybe Niang on the right side for a whole
Yeah, no doubt. So that would be my preference. But to be honest with you, I wouldn't even care who it is. I think Miami, just because the weapons they got offensively, that's always the one that you have to. Okay, we got to go back at it again and do it all over again, right? And so Tyreek, because he's going to be motivated. He lost the first one. The second one, he's going to be that much more focused in to what they need to do, man. But these guys, they ain't scared of anybody.
Yeah,
they scared of no one. So Chubb got hurt too, didn't he? Was he out for the?
Bradley Chubb, he's done for the year.
He's done. Yeah. That's what I thought. So
they have a lot of injuries on.
They
Miami's got a lot of things they're dealing with.
They're pretty beat up.
I will say, if it is Pittsburgh, well, I want to take you guys back to October 31st, 2015, when Mason Rudolph at Oklahoma State went to Texas Tech, went to Lubbock, and played Patrick Mahomes, and the game was like a college basketball game, 70-53, JD. Oklahoma State and Mason Rudolph's squad ended up winning that game. He had Rudolph at 285 yards passing, 2 touchdowns in that game, 1 pick. Mahomes on the other side, 480 yards passing, 4 touchdowns, 2 picks.
Wow. Jeez.
And also Mahomes also had 11 carries, 46 yards, and a touchdown also. So So, I don't think we're going to get those kind of fireworks if we do play in Pittsburgh, but, there is history there between the two guys.
Wow. If we give something up like that, boy, both DCs need to be fired.
Yeah.
Shoot.
Big 12 football, different.
Yeah, that's for sure. That's for sure. But no, I think Pittsburgh is the one we don't really know about. But I would definitely prefer playing Pittsburgh because you're just playing Miami the second time of the season. But we got their number. I think we got a great game plan against them and did a great job the first time against them.
Yeah.
And so you just build on it. But yeah, man, I like us against whoever. I do. I like us whoever the first round. So
the only way I don't think we come away with a win against Pittsburgh is if Gabbert plays most of the game.
Yeah.
I don't know, Teja. He was scrambling today, man. He was making it happen.
Yeah. Not for that last quarter of scrambling. That might have been. I mean, that was. I almost want to like put quarterback on a priority list for the offseason just after that, because if he has to come in and have a Henny type game, I don't know, man.
I don't know. Hey, look,
I don't know about that.
I was cheering for him. Go, Blaine. Go.
I couldn't believe it.
Go.
And I believe that counts as a fourth quarter comeback for his for his career, though. So
yeah, of course.
There you go, buddy.
Yeah.
Hell of a job, Blaine Gabbert. Hell of a job. Good win.
Reed ran to the locker room to call Chad Henne right after the game.
I will say, like, talking about like the possibility of playing Miami or Pittsburgh, if Miami has to come anywhere, playing Kansas City from Miami is not really where you want to go. It's probably like 75 degrees in Miami right now. They're gonna be coming to play, and I think the forecast for next week's like 10 degrees in Kansas City. So like, that's a bit. I know these guys. Some of these guys are used to playing cold weather. Obviously, Miami plays Buffalo, New England, and New York. 3 times a year. So like, but coming to play in Kansas City, that's a huge drop off.
It is going to be 8 degrees next Sunday.
8 degrees, yeah.
Goodness gracious!
Wow.
Yeah.
Man, oh man.
Wow.
No,
yeah.
thank you.
Dude, that is.
Thank you.
I'm like, I want to put on a jacket just hearing that.
Yeah, I know it. We was watching the Jets and New England game today, me and my brother. I'm like, I'm just cold watching this.
Yeah.
And I told him, I said, man, I remember sometime playing these games, and I remember saying, if I was ever, there would be no way I'd be in the stands watching this game ever. I wouldn't pay the money for a ticket. I'm sorry. Die-hard fan or not, I'm watching. If it's snowing like that, I will be at the comfort of my home with the fire blazing, sitting back and enjoying myself watching them play.
Yeah.
Even cold rain, like we were watching the Baltimore game, and we're pretty close. So I was like, man, I forget that.
Oh, yesterday, yeah, that was.
I'm not going to that game. You can give me free tickets, like on the field. I wouldn't go to that game.
I remember it was at 2013. I went to Chiefs Redskins at the time, and it was snowed. I mean, my buddy was a Skins fan. We had great seats. We were literally right in the end zone, like the front row, but it snowed so much. It was so bad. I was freezing. Like there was a touchdown that happened right in front of me, and like our other brother was like, "Why didn't you give the? We saw you on TV. Why didn't you do that?" I was like, "Dude, my hands were freezing. I kept my stuff inside like this, man. I was not like going to do anything."
Yeah.
Brutal, man.
Yeah. So I mean, regardless if it's Miami or Pittsburgh, I think we do win handily. So whoever that may be, and yeah, it's gonna be a good game tonight. It's a good way to finish out Week 18, having this a game to fight not for a playoff spot but for the division title. So it's gonna be interesting.
Wait, so if Buffalo wins, who would Miami play in the first round? Would they play Buffalo again?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
I would just love to see 2 teams play back-to-back weeks. That's just fun.
Yeah, playing 3 times in the season too. That's
yeah,
a lot.
but I mean, how often do teams play back-to-back weeks? I bet you that doesn't happen that much.
Yeah, very rare. Yeah,
wow, that'd be awesome.
That'd be 2-7. That'd be 2-7 matchup.
Yeah, man, that's great. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
go
Buffalo.
Go. Yeah, because you want to play Miami. So you prefer playing Miami next week?
Wait. Oh, you're right. Go Miami. My bad.
Okay.
So Miami wins. We play Pittsburgh.
Yep.
Okay. All right. I think it's what Jenna Sophia's. She said, "Why are we number 3 seed as opposed to number 2?" And it's based off the schedule. You know, it was getting beat by the Bills, beat Miami, but you know, they would win in the tiebreaker, which that having the same record.
Yep.
Yeah, Buffalo, because of the loss to them.
Yeah, because if Miami wins, they'll have a game up on us.
Right.
If Miami loses, we have the same record as Buffalo. However, Buffalo beat us, so Buffalo has that over us, the tiebreaker. So
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
yeah. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting. Yeah. So
Hey,
we'll see.
You know, we're tied for the worst home record out of all the playoff teams in the AFC. How about that? 5-4.
Really?
Yeah. The only other team that ties us is, go figure, Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Those are two teams historically have really good home field advantages. That's actually very. Talk about things that are rare. That's two things that are rare right there.
Yep. We actually have the second best away record in the AFC playoffs.
Wow.
Yeah. 3 of those games we should have won. I mean, could have went either way.
Yeah. But still, that's pretty crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. But all right, everybody. Well, that does it for us. Thanks for tuning in to Chief Concerns. Anybody who's in Bleacher Report, and then obviously we'll be posting this to YouTube. So our YouTube fans, our Chief Concerns fans, JD and I. So JD, no Monday morning tight end show because you'll probably be.
I'll be. Yeah, I'm doing the what's the name it?
Yeah,
the coaches convention. I got a forum to speak at tomorrow. So
yeah.
getting ready tonight. It should be a good thing, man. It should be a good thing. Good panel.
Will be live streamed, JD.
I know you had to have access, so I don't know if it'd be live stream. Who all have access to it?
Okay.
But I might be able to send you a link. You know,
Cool.
So we'll see.
I'd love to see it. Love to see it. But yeah, so and obviously Monday morning tight ends for a game like this. I mean, yeah, it's an important game in a way, but like, I mean, we can't really, not really doing it justice by grading these guys who we won't be seeing play. But yeah, we'll be back Wednesday for our preview of whoever it is, whether it be Dolphins, whether it be Steelers, but we'll be back Wednesday for a preview, 7 p.m. live stream Wednesday night. And then obviously we'll be back Friday for our betting show. That'll be back. So we'll actually have guys to bet on this week, unlike this past week, which they didn't. I was looking to the last minute, JD. They didn't put any of the player props up for the betting show.
Wow.
Just stick. That was it.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
It's funny. It's funny.
But yeah, so we'll see you guys Wednesday night, 7 p.m. JD, have a good time at the coaching forum, man.
Yeah, man.
Appreciate it, brothers.
Good travels.
Appreciate
Have a good time.
Yeah, thank you. Thank
Safe
you.
travels, brother. Love
All
you,
right.
man.
Love you
Okay,
too.
guys. Later on.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out the best clips from Chief Concerns. And if you prefer to listen to the show, subscribe and follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and anywhere else you get your podcasts.